Hello, welcome to Design to Inspire. We start in just a few minutes. Of course, I must say, down because I'm looking down on my computer, but then the camera is right in front of me. So I'm between the camera, hi, and my computer to see who is on. So we'll start in just a few. All right. Welcome. Welcome once again to Design to Inspire. If you're just joining, welcome and thank you for joining. We always appreciate you. And this is a place to be on a Sunday night at 7 p.m. as we join together to have intriguing talks about varying issues and relatable issues. If you have not yet subscribed, please go right ahead and subscribe to my channel. If you want to connect with me on Facebook, you can do so at Charlene Clark Curo. That's on Facebook. And if you Zoe, welcome, good evening. And if you would like to connect with me on LinkedIn, you can do so as well at Charlene. I'll put them in the chat at Charlene Clark Curo on LinkedIn, Charlene Clark Curo on Facebook, and Designed to Inspire on Instagram. So Designed TWO Inspire on Instagram and Design TO Inspire on Twitter. You can connect with me. Feel free to connect with me on any one of those social media platforms. Of course, if you need to book my services, you can go to designtoinspire.biz and you will get further information there on my website. That's designtoinspire.biz. Be sure to log on to the website and see the various offerings there. Tonight, we will talk about various things. It's a discussion to enlighten you, and it's nothing new. I mean, sometimes we go through life not realizing that sometimes the simple things in our early stage of life are the things that shape us, that mold us. And without even tuning in to how we used to operate in our earlier stage in life, we would not realize that it's those simple things that shape our future. And sometimes when we step away from the simple things in life, we make our lives complicated. So we're going to have some discussion. Do remember, if you want to participate, not if you want to participate, I'd love for you to participate. So to participate, you may WhatsApp call me or call me via WhatsApp at 1-877-367-0127. And I believe that's in the chat. So participate in the discussion and let us share. I like to hear from you. Of course, you can also use the chat to participate in the discussion as well, so that we can have a healthy 1 hour talk. Now, let's get into the meat of the matter. Retrospection, introspection, coming together for a better 2022. You see, and this is where I want to start, because I had a meeting with a group. Well, my group, I'm a part of the group, or my team, I'm a part of the team, just this morning, and we were having, yeah, a gentle discussion outside of the meeting. And one of the things that I brought to the fore was how simple our life used to be when we were much younger. Notably, many of us will say, well, then, yes, when I was younger, I was not responsible for anything. I was a child, so I was dependent on mommy and daddy or guardian, whomever it is. And that might be true. But some of the things that made us happy, that made us go, that made us laugh, when we were much younger, we realized that in our adult life, we do not embrace them anymore. And let me share a story with you. Very simple, but and I don't want to complicate it, but I'll tell you the meaning after. My office, we were renovating my office, or the office was being renovated. And included in the renovation is a painting of the office. Now, the office has about four, five, six sections. And the color for the office, for each section of the office, the color chosen was white, or is white. So each office would be painted in white. And then the main area, which is what we call the receptionist area, the reception area, that area would be painted in another color, but each office would be painted in white, to include my office. But then I decided to engage the painters and told them, listen, I need an accent wall, because I do not want to sit in an office that is just painted in white. I mean, to sit in an office like that is bland. And so the painters, they were like, okay, Miss Clark, we understand. Tell us the color. And I decided to pick some colors. Well, naturally, usually my colors are red, green, and gold, or yellow. Red, green, and yellow. Red, green, and yellow. As soon as someone say pick colors, I'm picking red, green, yellow to put together. So I told them red, green, and yellow to be blended. Right, so it's going to be blended, and that would become my accent wall. So yes, I'll have white in the office, but there would be one huge section that is painted in color. I remember while they were painting it and people were visiting the office to see how the renovation was going, everyone who entered my office would begin to laugh like, what kind of madness is this? This is crazy. And they could not understand the concept. And they saw it as being crazy, while I saw it as being, well, I usually say eclectic, but probably different, unique, right? I saw it as being unique. So while I decided, we had a little glitch there. While I decided that I was going to do a little bit differently where my office is concerned, persons could not see through the whole concept of it. But here is my concept. Go back to when you were younger. What were some of the things that appealed to you? What were some of the things that got you excited? And I remember in my younger life, and if you think about it deeply, in my younger life, I remembered I liked colors. I liked colors. And if you notice, even the candies, they're very colorful, right? They're very colorful because children liked colors. If you want your child, your young child, to eat vegetables, then you try to make their plate colorful, right? Because children like colors, that gets them excited. So while growing up, parents would want to paint their children rooms in beautiful, vibrant colors. And these colors would help them to be excited about the space, be excited about what it is that they're doing. The candy stores, they would make the candies very colorful because they want children to purchase the candies. It's not about the parents. It's never about the parents, it's about the children. They wanted the children to purchase the candies. Naturally, they would be telling the parents, oh, mommy, oh, daddy, we need this candy because the colors appeal to them. And so as you grow, you realize that, okay, colors become less appealing because the world is not as colorful in as an adult. You don't see colors like that much. If you go to an office space, it is usually bland, basic colors. And if you go to an office space that is very colorful, your eyes pop and you're like, whoa, this is beautiful. If you go to a friend's house and the house is just bland, basic colors, you're like, yes, this is okay, nice house. But if you visit a friend's house that has vibrant colors popping off the walls, you're like, wow, where did you get these colors? I like your coordination because colors appeal to you. Now, if colors appeal to you and get you so excited, why do we operate in bland spaces and expect to be we still expected we're expected to be motivated, inspired, and excited? In essence, what I'm saying, if you're at work and colors, you find that colors get you excited, and when you see bright colors, it excites you, why then do we practice to paint our offices in bland colors and expect our employees to be excited about work and be vibrant and be it just doesn't happen like that. And that was my concept. That was my reason behind ensuring that I have. Now, what is happening in my office is persons are coming in to take pictures of this accent wall to add to their, if they're doing any sorts of projects. And, when persons come in the office, they smile before they even begin to engage me because the office is so vibrant and welcoming just because of the colors. As basic as I've placed it, or as I've expressed it, viewers, think about those other things in life that we have decided not to embrace anymore, but still expect to live a fulfilling life. Last time we spoke, which I believe was last week, and we talk a little bit about mental health and mental wealth. And it's a topic that we will continue to talk about because every day, every hour, every second, something happens. Now, if we go back to the beginning and look at some of the things that we used to embrace that allows us to feel vibrant, excited, motivated, inspired, would it be so hard to include them in our adult lives? You see, sometimes when I engage persons and I say to them, listen, exercise the child in you, it's not that I'm saying go back to to throwing tantrums, go back to being, rude, go back to, no, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is go back to being exciting, go back to being loving, go back to being, well, not understanding, but welcoming, because a child was not taught, or is not taught, or does not know the whole business of hypocrisy as a child. And so you find that if the mother reprimands the child, whether you send them in a corner or whatever means, by the time the child is in the corner, the child will turn around and say, "Oh, mommy, I love you." But in our adult life, what do? We malice. We stop talking to the individual. We stop engaging the individual because they said something that did not sit well with us. So when I say go back to exercising, go back to your childhood days and practice some of the things, include some of the things that you used to do as a child in your adulthood days, it's not that I'm saying you need to take 100 steps back. And if we align it to the whole business of mental wellness and mental health, if we are less caught up with being so negative about our doings or about our failures, or being so negative towards each other, or being so uncaring, you would realize that we would have fewer people killing themselves and their children. You'll realize that you would have more people being happy in their space. You see, we are prescribed a template upon which we decide to write our own prescription when we become adults. So during our younger years, we are prescribed the template and we're told, okay, this is how you should behave in this sort of setting. These are the things that you should eat. This is how you should act. But as a child, we are still learning how to embrace those, those criteria. Now, as an adult, we are now able to change what we were prescribed. So we are able to adjust, amend our prescription. And we do so now based on what the environment is telling us. And what am I talking about when I say the environment? Based on what the movie is telling us. So we watch a movie, and by the end of the movie, we're shopping because we want to wear the same things that we see the actors and actresses wearing. Or we're going to a restaurant because in the movie that particular restaurant was featured. And so we want to go to that particular restaurant. Or we're resigning our jobs to apply for newer jobs because maybe in that movie they say that this job is trending, and so we decide that this is what we want to do, right? So movies, the whichever media, right, now influence how we make our own prescription. Again, nothing to do with how we align how we were when we were younger to what we should do in our adult life. We are always being guided as to how to dress, what to eat, where to go. You see, when I told someone that I really do not celebrate certain things, and you would not see me at certain places because, oh, it's my birthday, so the world has to stop. They're like, why? Because this is what is prescribed for you. You are supposed to do these things to be in the crowd. And so if you dare to be different, people will pop their eyes open and ask, okay, what is happening here? She's queer or square. So it's either you're queer or square, without understanding that you too can make your own prescription, prescribe your own thing. You don't have to be dependent on somebody else's prescription. And that is what we do in society. And so when we do that, we become burdened. We become burdened. Think about trying to live up to the expectations of the society. Think about it. You have to live to the expectation of your families and friends. Then you're talking about your community, and then you're talking about your job, depending on the position you hold at your job. Then you're talking about church if you do go to church. Then you're talking about those various organizations that you're a part of. Think about it. It's it's a lot. And so, because we have separated from the simple things in life that once made us happy and joyous, we become burdened. And so, we live a life of, well, this is how I want to put it, our lives are staged. I was listening to the great Les Brown, and anyone who knows me, knows that Les Brown is one of my favorite speakers. And I was listening to him, and he was doing an interview. And the interviewee said we needed to stop acting. And then immediately I made a comment and I asked a question. I said, give us or suggest. No, I know how to stop act, right? But suggest how we cage. We're placed on a stage. How then can we stop, act, and be our true self? Because that was the essence of the discussion. How then can we act and stop acting and be our true self when the world is a stage? That was my question, right? But then think about it. Most of us, that's what we do. That is what we do. We try our best to live up to society. We want to be seen, to be heard, to be known, and to be part of the crowd. And so we separate, and you're going to hear me say this a lot because this is what the talk is about today. We separate from the simpler things in life that once made us happy, that once made us vibrant, that once made us excited, to become complicated and burdened. And so, how do you begin to be your true self? You see, if you are an individual who is caught up with others and what they say about you, you will never be your true self. Because every day you're going to be thinking about what can I do today to live up to? What can I do today to be in a group? What can I do today to be a part of what is trending? How about thinking, what can I do today to be a part of the trend setter? Yes, because when you begin to be your true self, you become trend setters. How? You don't engulf yourself into conversation about or conversations about who you are, what you can do, where you can go, what you should do, what you should eat, and you sit and you're hearing this floating in the air, and you're just grabbing and accepting. Who are you? All right, this is who I think you are. And you grab onto that and say, yes, this is me. This is what I think you should eat. And you grab onto that and you said, well, then, yes, this is what I'm going to eat. This is what I think you should wear. You grab to that and you say, yes, this is how I'm going to dress. These are the places I believe you should go. And you say, yes, and you begin to make your vacation plan to go to these places. Now, to be trendsetters, go to the places you feel you need to go. Go eat the things you feel you need to eat. Dress the way you need to dress. And if someone say, oh, that's different, you say that. You are now aligning yourself with the simpler things in life. Let's put some colors in our life. Let's put some colors, and I am talking it literally as well. If your house is bland, go over and paint it. But let's put some colors in our life. Let's exercise the child in us. Let us be vibrant once more. Let us be happy once more. Let us be less concerned about. Think about when you were a child. You know that if you do something that is going to cause you happiness, but for your parents, and parents are always strict. You're climbing the tree, and your parents believe that that is dangerous, And so if you do that, they're going to reprimand you. But you're going to do it nonetheless as a child because that makes you happy. And then you will deal with whatever comes. But you're going to climb the tree because that makes you happy. Let us do some things that makes us happy. Let us go back to the basic. Look at some of the things that used to excite us, that energized us, that had us running all day, laughing all day. Sometimes we are so afraid to talk about silly things because persons see us as, this intellectual being. And so because we want to maintain that kind of image, we are afraid to talk about the birds and the bees because we do not want that image to disappear. No, to be yourself, you have to go back to basic. Let us align ourselves with things that used to make us happy, vibrant, and excited about life. So, introspection. Let's go back to basic. Let's look at what, at this point in our lives, what do we need to feel fulfilled or to be fulfilled, right? What do we need to feel that happiness? What do we need to embrace life? You know what is happening now? And this is a saying that I have taught, many people. Sometimes we are too caught up with the peripherals of the environment, right? Those things, those material things, that we begin to love material things unlike people. So we say that we love that shoes, but we like Jane. Or we love food, but we like Smith. So we begin to love these material things unlike in people. Let us switch it. Let us begin to loving people and like things. Let us reserve the likes for the material things. Because when we find, what I observe, when we have the love for material things, what do? We love money. And so we will work night and day, 4 jobs in one day in order to acquire the money. Yes? We love expensive food. We love to travel. And so we're going to work our butts off to acquire the money, the financial status that will allow us to live the life that we want to live. So when we love people, you see, if we switch it now and say, okay, we're going to make this switch. Let us love people and like the material things. Our energies will be switched as well. So it means now that we are going to focus on our fellow man. So if we realize that we can give a helping hand, we are going to do so wholeheartedly. We are not going to stop. But because we are loving things and liking people, we don't care about our next door neighbor. We don't care if he or she ate dinner today. We don't care if he or she has a place to rest his or her head because we like them, but we love to travel. So that is what we care, and that is where our focus is. So we're going to ensure that we frazzle ourselves out to be able to travel, just so we can be a part of the society, the prescribed medicine that we are given. So let us do some introspection. Do some introspection. Because if we do these type of introspection and if we do this type of assessment, I guarantee that us coming together will enable a better 2022. Yes, tomorrow is celebrated as Valentine's Day, and whatever Valentine's Day, well, we know that Valentine's Day is a day where you show love based on what is again prescribed. And if you believe in Valentine's Day and you have begun buying all these roses and chocolate and cars and house to show someone that you love them on February 14th, let us make the switch. Let us not wait until 14th of February that is prescribed for a love day. Let us do so every day, whenever we can. So we are not waiting on these prescribed dates to show love. We are showing it every day. Because in showing love on these prescribed days, we are still engaging with the material things to show love. And so if I believe that I should be given a vacation for February 14th by someone whom I think should love me so much to enable this type of vacation, and it doesn't happen, then I begin to think that the person don't love me. Only because I did not get a chocolate on February 14th. It's crazy, don't you think? Let me hear your views. 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 Mark Williams, welcome. And I'm looking down now because I'm reading from my laptop. Mark Williams says that it's easier said than done because people find it easier to follow than to stand out. But what is it for you, Mark? While we are assessing, because you do have some persons who like to stand out. You do. For you, Mark, would you say you are an individual who like to set the trend, or are you an individual who like to follow the trend? Because it begins with us. Yes, I know it's easier said than done, but what I'm trying to say to my viewers here, let it begin with you. Yes, we know that our brother or sister or mother or father or friend, whomever, might not have the same view, but let it begin with you because you never know, you becoming the trendsetter might allow them or encourage them or motivate them or inspire them to become a trendsetter too. So let us not sit and say, well, then you know what? A lot of people prefer to follow. So it makes no sense. I do nothing. Because if you do nothing, then we will remain where we are. And we want to come together for a better 22. So let me know, Mark, what is it for you? Are you a person who is a trendsetter, or are you a person who prefers to follow the trend? Good evening. Yes, I see you, Lena Clark, Sharon. Welcome, Zosie. No one is speaking. Talk to me. It's your time to talk. What say it you? What would you need to work on? What would you need to work on to align yourself with the basic things that used to make you happy in life? And at the point when you were a child, and note I went way back to childhood days because at that point you are so pure, so to speak, right? Because you were not a part of the society that should, well, if you notice what is happening, no, it's a bit different because our world has become so small. Hi, Janelle, welcome. Our world has become so small, and with the internet, our children are behaving differently. You'll have a child in United States of America and they can speak Arab, or they can speak Spanish, French, and or Swahili, and they have never traveled to these countries, and they can also behave, have the same behavioral pattern as those persons living, similar to those persons living in those countries, and they never traveled to those countries because of the connection that makes our world so small. So it's different now than then, right? So you find that now we do have the influence of the environment being passing on to our children, even sometimes unbeknownst to us. Unbeknownst to us, it's passed on to our children because we facilitate it by providing them with the tools, and they have access to the tools. And so the culture, or should I say not culture, the environment and the prescription that we have been prescribed is now prescribed to our children without us having to prescribe it to them. So they now too are influenced by this same prescription. They will now tell you how they want to dress because they are no part of, or they are seeing, or they have access to what is being prescribed. right? But if we go back to basic in terms of growing up, what we used to do, running, playing, some of us we don't even play anymore. We believe that we're too old to play. And these are some of the things that absence of these things in our lives makes us unhappy, makes us stressed. And it will also rip at the mere fabric of good mental health. Yes. So if we can do some assessment in our life, right? And say, well, then listen, this is where I am at. And these are the things that I used to do that used to bring joy to me. I am going to go back to these things. It's not going to be easy, especially if you have separated yourself from the happy moments for a very long period. You will have to you would have to be redesigned, or you would have to redesign your thoughts, right? You have to be rewired. But let us try to rewire ourselves, because it makes sense. And so, going back to my office space, when I was asked, why so many colors? Why so many colors in your office? It's so colorful. And then I can even say the same thing with my glasses. Why so many colors? It's so colorful. Because once upon a time, colors brought vibrancy, quote unquote, in my life. Once upon a time, colors made me excited. Once upon a time, colors made me hungry. Yes, because the candies were colorful, and you wanted, when you see these colors and you wanted the candy, you feel like you're hungry. Once upon a time, colors in my life made me happy. And so I want to bring back this type of feeling that I had when I was younger. And if colors were the cause of this feeling, or these type of feeling that I had when I was younger, I am going to embrace them in my life. Once upon a time, I was part of the group too. My walls would be bland. I'm wearing black every day, right? I think it's Johnny Cash. Somebody correct me in the chat. I believe I was called Johnny Cash at one point. It's Johnny Cash, I believe. I was called at one point when I was teaching, because every day, Monday to Friday, I'm wearing black, right? If my glasses were black, everything was black. And I just woke up one day and said, well, then what is happening? This has to change, because once upon a time, black wasn't the color, or well, they say black is not a color, it's a shade, but black wasn't just it for me. Colors made me happy, made me excited, made me vibrant. Why am I taking it from my adult life? And so I begin to embrace the colors. And yes, it works. It works. So I am just using colors, metaphorical for method. It's like a metaphor. I'm just speaking here, but it doesn't matter. Whatever it is, whatever it is, to sit and have a simple discussion with a friend, to laugh hysterically, without thinking that someone is hearing your laughter and might think that, oh, wow, I didn't know that she could laugh like that. You know, laugh hysterically, be happy. We are too stressed, and we burden ourselves with these things that are placed before us, and not just placed. We are guided to accept these things and make them part of our lives. And so we burden ourselves with these things. So let us do some introspection. Introspection, looking at ourselves, assessing how we live in order to come together for a better 2022. What do you think about that? Can we do it? Let us begin. We have to. I believe we have to. If I can do it, you can. I believe we have to. And if you assess your environment for a moment, look at the things that you surround yourself with or by. Do you really gain happiness from that? Okay, so you want a huge house because the community that you live in suggests suggests that you should be living in a huge house because once you enter that community, you see nothing less, and so you want a huge house. And so you burden yourself and you get a huge house. Tell me, what is life like in your 10-bedroom apartment? Note that you only can sleep in one. Yes? But what is life like in your 10-bedroom apartment? Does it really bring happiness? I don't think so. So let us look at the things that really, and sometimes, before I get there, sometimes we acquired a 10-bedroom apartment. We could fill it with kids and family members whom we could really live with, but because of our selfishness, we decided, okay, this is just for me and my husband because our children are grown and have moved out. So this is just for me and my husband. And I do not want anyone to live with me because it's hard to live with people and, all those excuses because we were told that too. And so my husband and I are living in this 10-bedroom apartment, empty, empty. If we don't speak, no sound. And when we do speak, it echoes because the apartment, the house is so huge, it echoes. Does that really bring happiness? I don't think so. So let us go back to what really bring happiness or brought happiness to our lives. And I say to you, you would have to go back to as far as when you were a child. You have to go back to as far as when you were a child and look at some of those things and begin to implement them little by little in your life and watch your happiness improve. Let me go to the chat. Zosi, welcome. Thank you for joining. And Zosi shared, they only emulate what is trending on social media, which is true because it's a part of the environment within which we live. They will tell you how to dress. For example, I did a live show once and someone viewed, they weren't on the live, but they watched it on YouTube because my programs are usually uploaded on YouTube. Do remember, if you have not yet subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. And if you have subscribed, share the information. I'm not about likes, I'm about sharing the information. And in order for you to share, you have to subscribe and tell your friends about it. It's not about numbers in terms of, oh, I have 100 likes. It's about sharing the information with others. And I was asked the question by this individual, no, but why do you do your live in a t-shirt? You should wear, you should wear your nice jacket. And my response was, listen, I do my live in my t-shirt because one, I'm wearing my brand. No, you want me to do my live in nice jacket suit. That's not my brand, right? That's not my brand. And in addition to that, I will not allow you to prescribe how I should attire myself for my life. But many of us, we don't do that. We find ourselves in a shell because we are not able to deal with criticism, especially if they're negative. Someone tells you every day, oh, you look so beautiful. Oh, you look so handsome. I like what you're wearing. And you walk as though you're walking on cloud nine. Your chest is up in the air, your head is held up because you feel good. And that one day, someone say to you, well, I don't quite like what you're wearing today. And why is your hair looking like that? And you look a little bit old. You feel as though the world is crumbling on you, upon you. Why? There was a time I was told, I I really can't quite remember how long ago, but I was told once that I'm a shoe person. I like shoe, but that too I had to control because I found that I had 200 pairs of shoe. I kid you not. And I had to be throwing them away or giving them away because naturally I cannot wear 200 pairs of shoe in 1 month, right? Much as not how I tried because it just wasn't happening. So I controlled that. But I still like a good pair of shoes. So if I'm going to buy a shoe, it has to be different. It has to stand out because, I like a good pair of shoe. And I was told one morning I went to work and, feeling good in my shoe and everything. Someone came to me and said, Miss Clark, I really don't, well, not in that way, but I really don't like your shoe this morning. Why you have to wear that shoes? Because Jamaicans, they can't dramatize in English. Why you have to wear that shoes? No, man, it's ugly. I didn't get upset. I didn't feel any way. I didn't feel as though the world is going to crumble on me. I didn't feel less of a person. I didn't hate the person because they told me that my shoe was ugly. As a matter of fact, just as how I would have said to the person, thank you, if they had said to me, your shoe is looking nice today. I engaged the person and I said, really, it looks ugly? And she said, yes, miss. It's the first time I ever see you wear one ugly shoe, so. And I said to her, okay, I understand, but can you help me? I asked her, can you help me? Tell me, what about the shoe that is ugly to you? Because I don't see ugly. So tell me, what about the shoe is ugly? And I didn't ask it in any facetious way or anything. I really wanted to know. And she told me about about the shoe and why she thought it was ugly. And then I was like, I understand what you're saying, but I like it. I like the shoe. So could you get used to seeing me in it from time to time? And she laughed. And she said, okay, miss, but it's still ugly to me. I said, I appreciate. But I did not go about hating the person and saying, "Oh, you didn't like my shoe. Oh, you are now my number one enemy." And that is how we live. We cannot deal with criticism, especially when it is not going for us. And when we get those type of criticism, we become sad, we become empty, we become everything negative that you can think about. But I was sharing what Zosie was saying, and 200 with a little exaggeration. But she said that, where am I? Zo, I missed that. But yes, so she was saying, I believe many are caught up in social media expectations. Social media influences how they look at and believe. The teenagers I encounter daily do not think for themselves, which is true. So listen, the teenagers live with someone, they have a parent or a guardian. And if the parent and or the guardian is allowing them to grow up like that, then this is what they're going to be. This is what they're going to be. We have to take some, before I get there too, they are a part of a community as well. But if the community turn a blind eye to what is happening, then this is how it is going to be. And this is what I am saying. We need to do some introspection in order for us to come together for a better 2022. So it's a holistic thing I'm talking about. We are too much loving the material things and liking people. When we make the switch to loving people and liking material things, then we will begin to see the change. But we cannot see any changes if we continue to operate the way we are operating. And they can't think for themselves because they are not allowed to think for themselves. Gone were the days when children, and even in my days, I do not want to age myself, but even in my days, I was told from time to time that this is not your place. Children need to hear that, yes. But I was told from time to time that if you're not spoken to, don't talk. It's different, no. I was one of that child, or I was that child who would, do I see parents on? I don't know if my parents are on my life, but I would always like to see things out myself. And so if my parents say don't do, if they do not tell me why I should not do, then I do. If you get what I'm saying. Some people would call it rebellious, a rebellious act. But I call it adventurous. And I believe it also shaped me into the person I am today. I was never quick to just listen and grab onto the things that people used to. Growing up, I don't think my mother, in the initial stage, accepted when, not think, I know she did not accept when I decided that I wanted to do a skill called electrical installation. She didn't accept it. My father was okay with it. I grew up more like that type of person who liked to do the hands-on, the rough things, because I was tired of hearing boys should do this and girls should do this. I was tired of hearing that. Allow me to decide what I can manage. No, do not take it wrong. I am not saying that men and women are equal. We can never be equal. A woman can never be equal to a man. Never, never. It was not made to be that way. God did not design it to be that way. I am not for that. But what I am saying is, I always like to explore as a child growing up. And sometimes when I'm told, listen, do not do this, I know parents, they will reprimand, but then I'm going to do to find out why. And then deal with whatever comes after that. And that was always how I handled things growing up. I had a mind of my own. I had a mind of my own. Yes, I'm guided by parents and I'm guided by the community. I was guided at school as well. We don't have that anymore. The school, we just don't have that anymore. What happens now? Everything is thrown out into the society. A child picks what he wants to pick. The adult picks what they want to pick. So everything is just out there. Nobody is trying to ensure that what goes out there with caution. No, everything is just thrown out there in the public's eye. And then, persons just take from what is out there, they just take accordingly, young, old, and indifferent. That is what is happening now. So yes, the teenagers, they're not thinking for themselves because, like I said, the world has become so small, and because of this thing called technology and internet, the world is small, and I can be a Jamaican living in Africa. Yes, right? I can be a Jamaican, never come to Jamaica, never travel to Jamaica, but I can be a Jamaican, a full-fledged Jamaican in the sight of the Africans living in Africa because of the connection that has made our world so small. Let us do some introspection for the coming together for a better 2022. Let us go back to basic. Let us look at those things in our former lives when we were called children that used to make us excited, that used to make us happy, that used to make us vibrant. And let us see what we can include in our lives now from then to bring back the happiness, to bring back the excitement, to bring back the care, to bring back the love. Let us do some introspection. You cannot allow, and this is so again, you cannot allow someone's perception of you to diminish your confidence. Not doing that in 2022. Sometimes when you are succeeding, sometimes when you are moving, sometimes when you are elevating, don't believe that every comment made of you or made about your progress was made because that individual is with you. You have to know how to treat with those comments, and you do not have to be in a brawl with the individual. That's not necessary. But in your private moment, you must know how to deal with those comments, and you must know how to identify them. And if you are going to allow someone to tell you who you are, it would mean that you are weak. Let us be strong. You have to know who you are. So when someone comes and say, well, then I give you another story. And I like to give stories because when you are motivating, inspiring, and engaging people, you do not talk to them. You do not talk to them. You engage them. So talking to them would just be telling them what to do. No, it's not about me telling you what to do. It's about me coming together with you, sharing stories with you to encourage you to do differently. And this young man had an idea for a job and he for a project, and he came to me for mentorship, and he said to me, he showed me his idea on paper, draft, and he asked if I could help him to write the proposal, and he told me what he wanted. So of course I was excited and I engaged him and I was giving him ideas as to what he could do. And a month after, not even so long, he came to me and he said, well, miss, that idea I have, I don't think it's going to work. So I said, but this is another version of you. Because when you brought that idea to me, I saw the excitement in your eyes. What has dimmed your light? Tell me. And when he began to share with me, I was saddened because it was his very friends who were telling him that, listen, this idea is poor, it's not going to work out, be careful because if you become a business person, you're going to be targeted, and everything negative. And he accepted that. And the plan that he had was no more of interest to him. And how many of us have gone through that? How many of us? We have to be strong and firm. We have to know who we are. But again, let us go back to basic. Let us go back to the moment in our lives when we used to be excited, vibrant, and happy. Because if we do not do some introspection, if we do not do some assessment, there's no way we can identify the solution. So in order for us to identify a solution, let us do some assessment. But for now, I want to encourage you, go back in time and bring to the future all those things that caused you to feel happy, vibrant, excited. Bring it to your future and share it. Include it in your life. And another thing I want to remind you, stop loving material things. Because when we love material things, we work our heart and soul to acquire them. Stop loving material things and begin to love people and like material things. So the next time someone asks you for that nice pair of shoes, do not say no because you love the shoe. Say no, you like the shoe. When when you meet that individual who is kind and nice, instead of saying I like you, say I love you. Let us make that switch. We are easy to like a shoe, a clothing, a car. We are so easy to love a car, and it's so hard to love a person. And this is, I believe, this is one of the main challenges we are having because it is so hard to love a person, but so easy to love a car. In order to love the person, we want to live with them, we want to travel with them, we want to eat and dine with them, we want to party with them, but you can see the car just that moment, that instant, you don't know because you have not gone inside the car as yet. You don't know if it has a gas pedal. You don't know if it has a brake. You don't know if it has a clutch. You don't know if it has a steering. You don't know if the engine is good. But just by looking on the car, you love it. Can I get an amen in the room if you think I'm talking good things? By looking at the car, you love it. And you have not even gone inside the car to see what the inside look like. But in order for you to love a person instantly, it is impossible because you have not yet dined with them. You have not yet gone to their homes. You have not yet gone to party with them. And so you have to do all of these things to feel them out, we say, before you can say you love them. We have it wrong. Let's switch it. Let us go back to basic, go back to the things in our lives when we were children that used to make us excited, vibrant, happy, and see what we can take to our present life, to our future, in order to bring back that happiness and vibrant behavior and excitement to our lives. I believe if we do this, and let us begin with ourselves, I believe if we do this, we will be at a better place to come together for a better 2022. I have reached the end of my show, and this is the end. Now, listen. If you want to participate, and when I say participate, if you have a story or you know of someone who has a story that you'd want me to share on my platform, it's easy. Call me at 1-876-367-0127. That's on WhatsApp, via WhatsApp only, or you can WhatsApp me there as well, or you can email me. I'm going to put my email in the chat, and that is Charlene Clark. Designed to inspire. Let me put the email in the chat. I'm going to put the email in the chat. Or you can email me at Charlene Clark Cura at designtoinspire.biz, or connect with me on Facebook at Charlene Clark Cura. Connect with me on LinkedIn at Charlene Clark Cura, and then DM me. So either way, you can send me a message via WhatsApp at 1876. The number is in the chat. You can connect with me on any one of the social media platforms. So if you have a story that you want us to share right here on Design to Inspire, the Nightcap program, let us do so. Connect with me and let us share the story, because through story, sharing of story, we can make someone's life better. Yes, we are not going to make the world a better place in an instant. But if we start today, one by one, and by tomorrow, one person would have walked away with something to say, well, then I'm going to improve, we would have succeeded. And so, in order to be completely successful, let us together share our stories, see how best we can motivate, inspire, and engage persons towards coming together for a better 2022. Thank you for tuning in to Design to Inspire. This is your host, Charlene Clark Cure, and this is where I take my leave of you. Thank you so very much. Remember, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please do so. Subscribe right now. And if you have not yet shared the channel, share it with your family members, share it with your friends, share it with your community members. Let's share this information. Let's share this platform so we can continue to motivate, inspire, and engage. And at this time, I say, be inspired.